Alright, it's week 9 of the Marshville series, and I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, at least for everyone who celebrates. But starting out, you want to go ahead and take a look at the casual tab, starting with Artificial Island. And you want to make sure you hit this present icon because you can only hold your resources for 24 hours. On top of that, you want to look in this section and see if you have an old man icon, and if you do, you want to go into your island and find him so that way you can get some free items. And if not, feel free to check your friends, your crewmates, or other people's out in the world as long as they give you access. And if you want to find out more information about that, be sure to check out this video. But you still want to go into your island at least once a week. Once inside, you want to hit this triangular icon, and you want to go to Exchange Store and buy your weekly items because they reset on Monday. On top of that, don't forget to kill your enemies on the island, at the very least your bosses, because they reset Monday as well. And we have a new pet system, which I'll go into more detail later in the video. But at least for Artificial Island, you want to take advantage of your extra spots because you want to try to get some battle pets. How that works is that you're trying to get them to level 2. And as you see there, they have a chance to mutate into a battle pet. With this one, even starting out with a good combat skill by having advanced healing. And once I got to level 4, it got an effect which is going to help my other teammates. Next, we have fishing. And you want to try to get this to level 9 so that way you can buy your weekly standard matrices. And if you're just starting out with fishing, I recommend that you get 100 to 150 green bait, and then with the rest of your available bait, get purple bait, bringing us to Ronnie the Resource Stealer. And if you have Nanyin, you might want to consider putting a portal here so that way you can get to him much easier. But for my boat mains, you want to make sure that you buy your mini pelican shards, get your energy, and go ahead and buy your potent omnium crystal. And if you have issues getting the resources, you can always buy appointed research kits in the Mentorship store, bringing us to appointed research, to where you want to do this at least every other day so that way your energy does not cap, because you can only hold a grand total of 20 energy, so that way you can keep getting the 5 free energy a day. Next, we have racing. And if you don't have a lot of Mira, I recommend that you try to race, because if you can get in the top 100, you can get 400 Mira at the end of the month. Then we have the ambassador program. If you don't have a lot of Mira, I recommend that you don't do this, but if you do have an excess, this is a fun event that you can do. But do note that you have to do this on Monday to try to get the highest bid, bringing us to the marketplace. So of course you have the bulletin. You want to make sure that you're checking this so that way you can get your monthly items, or at the very least, get stuff ready for next month. You want to go ahead and take a look at your monthly items that you need for the month, and then sell the items at the best deal, and do the same for the store vendors and try to buy those at the lowest prices. And if you do have some pets, don't forget about the Beast Adoption Center, which is another place where you can get some Dominion. And lastly, let's talk about the trap section. So now with this new Pokemon feature, you do want to try to take advantage of your daily capture experience and try to get all of these pretty much to the max level, so that way you can get whatever pet you need, so that way you can rank up. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this new feature. So once you get your battle pets, you want to level them up, and then you're going to be able to fight various people on the challenge list. If you see someone that's a bit too powerful, you can always press this refresh icon and try to play someone else. But generally what I do is I click on them, see if they have any really good special powers, and see what level they are and what element the monsters have. If it doesn't look like it's too bad, then I might go ahead and attack it with my team, because right here you pretty much have the system of what beats what, with altered and physical pretty much just being even throughout. So you want to just go ahead and try to do that. But you can only gather 30,000 coins a week, which does matter because you have a store to where you can buy combat food, which helps you level up your pets, training guides, which help you get really good skills for your pets, and the biggest thing is this random tame vehicle box, to where you can get a free random mount. But this is monthly, so sadly, unless you have not really been spending any of your points, it's going to be very difficult to get this for the first month. So if you're close to getting enough points and you do care about the mounts, you might not want to try to buy combat feed. But how you're able to add your new pets to the system, you're going to have this plus icon. You simply click on this, and then you can click on your various pets, and you can see what skills they have. In the attack section, they do have to have stamina to fight, so if they go down to 0, they're not able to fight anymore. And from what I've seen, it looks like it takes about an hour or 2 to gain stamina, so ideally you want to try to use up all of your stamina before you go to bed. And of course, try to put together your strongest team. And one other thing that you need to know is that you have a daily challenge attempt, which is 20. So far I've done 12, so I have 8 more that I need to do before I call it a day, so that way I can try to get as many points as possible and get a higher rank, because if you do get very high ranks in this, you can get some extra rewards as well. So this is a fun little feature to go ahead and play around with. And one other thing to note is that you do have a defense lineup The defense lineup is what you're fighting on other people's teams, so this is what other people have for their defense lineup. So you want to make sure that you put something here. And you don't have to have stamina on your creatures to be in your defense team. So hopefully that gives you a little bit about how this new system works, but if you want me to go into more detail, let me know down in the comments and I'll try to make a dedicated video. Next, you want to do Mia's Kitchen, and you want to knock out your 4 bounties for the day, and always go with Domain 9. And you want to make sure that you do your 3 Clear Stream Machine, to where you can get these to spawn by killing elites, opening up boxes, or even going for machine parts, because you do have a chance to get some pretty good rewards like Red Nucleus, special vouchers, and even Titan materials. Then we got Vitality, starting with Joint Operations. So you want to make sure that you do this at least once a day, so that way you can get your drive and your Habuella Arcilla shards. If you already have good gear, you can always do balance mode and hunt drives. But you want to get in the habit of checking out this instance effect, so that way you can see what days you're able to get Habuella Arcilla shards. So for this week, it was Friday, we were able to get Scylla shards, so hopefully you're able to save some Vitality on Thursday so that we can get some more Scylla shards. Next, you want to do Interstellar Exploration, and you want to check Vera as well as Hespera. And how you can tell if you have level 3 or level 2 stargates is you can look at the star icon above the gates. But if you don't have level 3s or level 2s, you could always do Dimensional Trials and simply press go and use up all of your Vitality by using Quick Battle. And you can do the same for Matrix Data Pack or Go. And then we have our optionals, and that is giving gifts to your 1.0 characters. And the best way to do that is to go to the black market and talk to Hopkins, see this island and do the claw machine, and knock out your 2 trainings for the day. You also can knock out your 8 fun zones, so that way you can get Mara. But what is not optional is doing your security force missions, so that way you can get Ode Vera coins and Mara. And if you have not already cleared out the gray space, you might want to go ahead and knock out your 6 gray space fishers. But the biggest reward is in the Twilight Zone. But you do have an 8-hour time limit, so you could wait on this. Bringing us to our events, starting with the supply run. So hopefully you've been logging in enough time so that way you can get all of the rewards from the supply run, to where I need to make sure I log in every day so that way I can get all of these robes. And for my dolphins and whales out there, they have a limited Tanium purchase, so if you purchase up to $100, you can get all of the rewards, and it is a pretty good deal since you do get some Battle Pass shards, as well as Dark Crystals. And then we have the newest character, Yan Miao. And I was going to come out with a video talking about the rotations, but since she got nerfed so badly, pretty much she's just good for physical. So I'm just going to leave a link to my Excel doc, but I will make an announcement on the channel to go into more detail about that. But of course, if you get her, you have an order gift where you can get a couple extra rewards, and that's the same for the reruns. So let's go ahead and talk about the reruns real quick, to where we have physical and flame. So let's go ahead and talk about how worth the physical reruns are. Umi, I recommend that you pass, because most likely she is going to be the next one added to the standard pool, and she doesn't work for a lot of teams. Junono is very strong, but with Yan Miao taking away Grievous, that does hurt how strong Junono can be. Zeke is still a strong character and he's used in a lot of teams, so that's actually not a bad pickup, on top of being able to kill mini bosses. For Flame, Lan is actually really good, especially if you want to tank, but she will get added to the standard pool as the next Flame character, but it will be a while since Annabella was just added. Leoa, I recommend that you don't really get unless maybe we're close to like an A3 or something, because most likely the next Flame main DPS is just going to be a lot better than her. And Fize is very good, but where you see her true potential is if you can get her to A3. So you might want to maybe just wait for the next Flame if you want to go that route. Then we have our big events, to where first we have the version delivery, to where really if you do the Pokemon battle, you get all of this. Then you have the new raid, and then we have the challengers task list, to where you just need to do the regular challenges: Frontier Clash, Origin of War, Sequential Phantasm, and Void Abyss. And we even can find out how long this patch is going to last, so it will last for 35 days. Bringing us to our big winter event, to where you have grand chapters, to where you just go and fight bosses, and you can get points, so that way you can go into the store and get some really good rewards. You also have missions on the side right here, and that is in each section, so be sure to go ahead and clear those out so that way you can get all of the rewards. We have the Wintry Gift, to where every 2 hours you're able to go to Meoria, Inners, and Asperia and collect presents. And then we have the Dancing Craze, to where you have to go into the nightclub to be able to collect this, and sadly this is not open until 9 o'clock. And the last thing is that you have the Journey of Friendship, so that way if you share this with other individuals and they play Tower of Fantasy, you can get some extra rewards. Which brings us to Mentorship, so you want to make sure that you're taking out your mentees and getting them points, so that way you can eventually graduate infatuate them and get some pretty nice rewards, and take at least one mentee with you to do the co-op missions. And for the store, I recommend that you get the Titan and Compiling module, the data repeaters, the goading gear, and if you have extra resources, you can consider getting radar detectors. And if you need research materials, be sure to pick those up. And by now, you should have enough energy to go ahead and level up all the statues, but I still would try to collect the free energy down here from the energy field collectors, so that way you can buy some Domain 9 gifts. Then we got the weekly tab. You want to make sure that you do everything down here so that way you can get everything up top, and make sure that you do the things that give you keys. And when it comes to keys, I recommend that you save those for the next batch. Which brings us to our challenges. So if you're doing something like Bygone Phantasm or Frontier Clash, you might want to save your Venus Kitchen to power yourself up, but starting with Bygone Phantasm. So you want to go ahead and take a look at this weapon bonus, and if you have a good weapon bonus, then you might want to try to climb a few levels. But if your CS is high enough, you might be able to do this sneak to next level and go up 11 levels as long as you can beat that floor. But the biggest thing that will determine your rank is Sequential Phantasm. If you're able to get a high rank in here, most likely you're going to get the top rewards for the week. Wormhole, we have 2 days left to complete this, and you want to make sure that you do, so that way you can get those exoskeleton shards. Frontier Clash Hard, you want to make sure you knock this out so that way you can get that goading gear. Frontier Evolution, you want to try to get a good team together and try to knock this out so that we can get most of those rewards. Origin of War, we're halfway through the season, so you want to try to get a team together so that way you can collect the rewards before they go away. Void Rift, if this is a first time boss for you, you want to go ahead and knock it out. But do note that we are approaching the end of the month, so next week you want to make sure that you save at least 2 charges for the upcoming week so that way you can do the new Void Abyss. Which of course means that this Void Abyss is ending very soon, so try to get a team together and go ahead and knock it out. Raids, now we have a new special raid, so if you want to try to do challenge, make sure you have a coordinated team together so that way you can knock that out. But if you do have issues, you can always do heroic, and I would say the same advice for the regular raid, to where if you can't knock this out on challenge, go ahead and just knock it out on heroic to where you get 95% of the rewards. Break from Destiny. Make sure you do this at least 1 time a month so that way you can get 250 dark crystals. And how you can tell if you did it for the month, be sure to click on this information tab. As you see, I have not done it yet, so I need to make sure that I knock this out before next week. Arena. If you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, you might want to put a couple hours in each day. And you might also want to try to get some critical points so that way you can spend those in the point store. Then we got our daily buys, so you want to go to shop, and starting out, you can buy an outfit. But be sure to click on it and press preview, that way you can see how it looks on your character. And you can also click on this button right here and press custom, and you can change it around to see what the various things look like. Then we have the monthly pass, where you want to try to have this active because this is a very good deal. And as you see, mine ends in 9 days, so I want to go ahead and add some more time to that. And our battle pass ends very soon. So that means next week, you want to try to save your weekly activity up top so that way you can progress your battle pass even faster. Then we have the daily supply box. So for my dolphins, I recommend that you get this deal down here. And then we have the hot section, starting with Vitality Solutions. So if you're going to buy Vitality Solutions, I recommend that you buy no more than 2 a day, because when you do that, you are giving up 21 rolls for the new character. But if you need booster modules and advancement modules, you can consider buying those with dark crystals. And let's go ahead and talk about the limited gift pack. With there being so many various things in here, I'm going to quickly go over how you can tell which is the best deal. So let's take this small pack for example. The best deals are the ones closest to 60 dark crystals, and the worst deals are the ones closest to 150 dark crystals, to where you could just buy a regular row. So if we take 360 divided by 5, the number of rows, we get 72, meaning that this is not too bad of a deal. But if we were to take a look at something like this, where it's 2980 divided by 16 rows, that equals 186 dark crystals, meaning that this is a really bad deal. But basically, you do get this outfit, so if you're someone who's been playing it for a long time, I recommend that you stay away from this one. And then we have the ones that actually cost money. So basically, the best way to look at this one is to take a look at the purchase rewards. So for $15, we can get 980 Tanium plus 110 dark crystals. So 980 plus 110 equals 1090, and if we divide that by the number of rows, that equals 54.5, so basically 55 dark crystals, making this a really good deal. The only problem is that you can only use these for Yan Miao. But if you're not very close to reaching pity, you might want to just go ahead and buy these. That way you can go ahead and increase your pity for something that you want in the future. And that would be the same for this deal down here, to where you get some Yan Miao rows and you can just keep increasing that pity. And lastly, this one for $5 is not a really good deal unless you want this accessory. Bringing us to the Commissary, starting with the Crystal Dust Store. So you want to make sure you buy your very special gift, your Potent Omnium Crystal, your Advancement Module, your Booster Module, and your Augmentation Box, and your Augmentation Factor. Space-Time Store, you want to buy your Advancement Modules, your Booster Modules, your Data Repeater, and your IP Shards. Cruise Store, now the only thing that I recommend that you spend your points on are relics, and the relics that I recommend Diamond or either Omnium Shield or Space Time Ring. Support store. With your excess points, you can buy Space Time Crystal Fragments, Gold, and Black Nucleus. And if you have returner points, I recommend that you buy the proof of purchase. But if you have excess, you can always buy Space Time Crystal Fragments and Radar Detectors. Point store. Now the only thing that you should spend your points on are spare special gifts, so that way you don't have to do training, black market, or see this island again. But if you need to level up your matrices or weapons, you could always buy matrix data packs or weapon batteries. And when it comes to your critical points, you want to buy Veron. And other than that, feel free to buy whatever accessories that you want. But besides that, I just recommend that you explore the map and try to get all the rewards for upcoming characters. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If so, I would greatly appreciate a like so that way it can spread more on YouTube. But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.